Howdy folks, I'm mouth-watering mac and cheese, meticulously making merry meals.
I'm Amber.
And here's more merry meals for us to make. Because mac and cheese makes every meal better. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for refusing to babysit my neighbor's kid after their dad hit on me and exposed him to his wife? So I'm a 19-year-old female and I babysit for some extra cash. A couple of months ago, I started sitting for my neighbor's kids, who I'll call Tom and Sarah. I've always been close with the kids. They're adorable and I like being there, so I thought that it was a good setup. But one night, things kind of got weird. They came home late, and Sarah had obviously had a few drinks. She went upstairs, and Tom stayed back to pay me. As he's handing me the money, he's like, "You've really grown up fast." He says it in this really weird tone that makes me uncomfortable, but I just laugh it off because what else do you do? I didn't think much of it until a few days later. I was babysitting again, and Sarah left for an event, but Tom stayed back, saying that he had forgotten something. After the kids were asleep, he came over and started making some weird comments about how we could have fun together. I was shocked. So I just stood up and I told him that I wasn't interested, and he said, "Relax, no need to overreact," but it felt wrong. I got this bad feeling, so I made an excuse to leave as soon as Sarah got home. I wasn't sure if I should tell anyone, but I wanted to protect myself in case he tries anything like that again. So I recorded the conversation with him on my phone the next time he texted me. I just felt so creeped out. Sarah texted me a couple days later asking if I could babysit again, saying that they were in a pinch. I didn't want to do it, but when she noticed my hesitation, she asked if something was wrong. I felt like she deserved to know, and I told her everything. She went dead silent after that. Later that night, Tom blows up my phone with a message calling me a liar and saying that I was trying to mess up his life because he wasn't interested in me. I sent Sarah the recording to prove what I was saying was true, and she ended up confronting him. Now the relationship is in shambles, and he's telling people that I'm doing this for attention. It's a mess. I'm feeling a bit guilty because I didn't mean to ruin their family, but I also don't feel right babysitting after what he said and did. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. He is a creep and he is meeting the consequences of his actions. He made your work environment an unsafe environment. Like, I know you don't have a formal HR to talk to, but he is creating a hostile work environment.
Yeah.
You do not feel safe in this home. You should not have to babysit somewhere where you don't feel safe.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really what this boils down to. I mean, he went out of his way to make OP uncomfortable, and he sexually harassed OP.
Mm-hmm.
Now, OP is pretty young, and I think that a lot of what we're seeing here is kind of that young versus old dynamic, where he's trying to tell her it's not a big deal, I didn't really mean this type of stuff, because he thinks that he can manipulate her
Mm-hmm.
and, make this go away. And the fact of the matter is that OP didn't ruin his life. He ruined his life.
Right. Like, and, the wife deserves to know that she's married to a creep who's hitting on their babysitter.
Yeah.
So if his relationship is in shambles, it's because of him for not honoring his marriage vows.
Yeah, I was looking for an age, but unfortunately I don't see an age here. But I think this is an unfortunate situation. I feel bad for OP. And I think that OP did the right thing here by letting her know. She deserves to know that her husband is doing this, because if it wasn't you, it would be the next babysitter,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or it's already some other woman out there, right? Like, he's made it clear, like, all he's looking for is opportunity at this point in time. He's going to cheat on his wife at some point in time. He just needs the opportunity. If you had been receptive towards his advances, then he would have cheated.
Yeah. Well, and OP is also in a vulnerable position because she's his employee.
Yeah.
And that makes it even more awful because he's exploiting her youngness and her dependence on him financially.
Yeah.
Because now luckily OP can afford to not babysit for him anymore. But not everyone is in that position.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really a gross abuse of power.
Exactly. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for calling my husband selfish for eating a massive bowl of cereal? Throw away because this feels so ridiculously petty. I can't believe I'm even asking it. Our kid, 6, has a favorite cereal, which is a branded chocolate hoop cereal. When it's full price, it's 100% out of our budget, and so we almost never buy it, and we buy her the cheap own brand alternative, which she likes but isn't anywhere near as good, but it's 3 times cheaper, so you make do. Well, we went shopping a few weeks ago, and to my surprise and happiness, they had 2 boxes of her preferred brand massively reduced to clear, making them cheaper than her own brand. So I bought them. She was thrilled. We've been gradually going through it. I try to limit how much sugary cereal she has anyways, so generally she'll have a bowl of Shreddies or Bran Flakes or something similar and put the chocolate cereal on top. She's happy to do it because this makes her cereal last longer. We've just opened the second box a couple days ago. Well, this morning my husband joined us for breakfast. Normally he wakes up before us, so he's already eaten before we wake up. Then he poured himself a huge bowl full of the chocolate cereal. I was stunned, and I immediately asked him what he was doing, and he was seriously eating that much cereal. Here is where I am probably the jerk, and I shouldn't have commented in front of our kid, but he took me by surprise, and I wasn't thinking. He shrugged and said that it was a normal amount of cereal to eat, and that he had run out of his cereal, and it wasn't that big of a deal. He also said that he had done the exact same thing yesterday. I haven't checked. I estimate that at least 1/3 of the entire box over those 2 bowls. I got annoyed and said that it was unreasonable and kind of selfish. While he has every right to eat as much food as he wants, and he has every right to eat whatever cereal he wants, I think having a huge bowl of expensive cereal, which was bought as a treat for our daughter, is completely unreasonable. I asked him why on earth he couldn't have mixed it with cheaper cereal to bulk it out, because this particular cereal is unaffordable usually. He made a comment about the box being gotten on offer, so it wasn't expensive. And when I argued that that wasn't the point, that buying another box would be that expensive, then he just said we won't buy her another box. Our kid got upset, and then my husband snapped at me, saying anything in front of her, and that it was my fault that our kid was upset, and said that I had now ruined his day. He sulkily ate a giant bowl, and then stormed out of the room in a huff. He said that he earns a lot of our money, so he can eat what he wants. Yes, he earns more, but we have an agreed upon food budget. If he wants to buy expensive cereal with his own money, then he can be my guest. But he spends his money on other things, and this cereal came out of our family food budget. Am I the jerk for calling him out for eating too much cereal? Edit, because a few people have brought it up in the comments. Yes, husband was fully aware that this is daughter's favorite and was bought as a treat for her. The reason I said unofficially is because it was bought out of the family budget and wasn't like it was a reward or something, not because he was unaware of the situation. Edit 2, the box is supposed to contain 14 servings because she rations it. It usually lasts 3 or 4 weeks, having it every day. Edit 3, our grocery budget for the 3 of us is about 40 pounds to 50 pounds a week, approximately $50 to $65 according to Google. I don't see how I could possibly cut anything out. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, while having this conversation in the front of the kid was not necessarily the best way to go, I think pointing out in the moment, like, hey, are you really going to eat that much cereal when this is a limited resource? Like,
Yeah.
it kind of had to be said, because he could just be doing this automatically and not even thinking about it. And like, oh, hey, honey, that's kiddo's favorite cereal. Could you maybe put some back or something like that?
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong about having that conversation. And I think when you're a parent, it's important to make some sacrifices for your kids, such as having less of the tasty cereal so they can enjoy it for longer.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine being a parent, looking my kid right in the eyes as I sat there eating their favorite bowl of cereal, gulping it down, spoon by spoon,
Well,
being like, this is less cereal for you, kid.
well, it's such a horrible lesson too, because it sounds like she's very good at conserving her
Yeah.
cereal and making it last so she has more. But dad is just going to eat it all in like inside of a week.
I drink your milkshake. It just is like mind-boggling to me that a parent would be selfish like this, right? I would think that you would want your child to feel rewarded, I mean, certainly like there wasn't any, reward. This was just like some kind of special thing, but I mean, you're an adult, and I mean, go find another boring cereal to eat. I mean, I don't know why you've had your childhood, you've had your own cereal and stuff like that. I don't know why you need to go and eat your child's cereal on top of that.
Right. I mean, she's 6, little kid here. You're taking food from a 6-year-old.
Well, and to kind of narrow down the point here, he's an adult.
Mm-hmm.
He can go to the store and buy his own cereal anytime he wants. She is a child, and she does not have that luxury or ability.
Right. I mean, a 6-year-old isn't going to be able. A 6-year-old isn't even going to be able to get a part-time job if they wanted to.
Yeah. So he is literally taking away something that she has no access to, that he could easily have access to if he wanted to. So I think that he really needs to consider this and be like, if he wants his own cereal, his own type of special cereal, then maybe he needs to go and buy it or out of his own money, or just conserve it in the same way that she conserves it. That way he isn't eating it any faster than she does. And I'm not saying that he can't have anything nice, right? But I think it's unreasonable the amount that he's eating here.
Well, and there have to be other foods in the house that he likes too. It sounds like this is one specific item the daughter specifically adores. Like, is there nothing else in the house he could eat that would be satisfying to him?
Yeah. And I will actually say that I'm really happy to see that they are actually patting out the cereal here. They're not just giving her pure sugar for breakfast.
Yeah, well, so many breakfast cereals are just so sugary. It's not good to be giving anyone that much sugar in the morning, you know?
Yeah. So I'm glad to see that they're kind of like not giving her pure candy at least. And but again, like every parent's going to have to make their own choices about what their kids can eat, you know. At least they are fortified with vitamins and minerals and stuff like that, right?
Well, and I just hope this doesn't ruin her frugality because, you know, she's had this very good habit of like conserving the cereal to make it last for a long time. And if it becomes that I have to eat it all before dad gets to it, that creates unhealthy eating patterns and food hoarding tendencies.
Yeah, yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Breaking Up with My Girlfriend After I Found Out That She Was Mocking Me in Her Group Chat with Her Friends? I'm a 32-year-old male, and I've never been in a relationship before this one. No serious girlfriend, no flings, nothing. Growing up, I was bullied a lot, especially in high school, for being awkward, short, and skinny. I'm still only 5'3", and I'm pretty thin. Dating was always something that I felt nervous about. When I met my now ex-girlfriend, a 26-year-old female, a year ago, she made me feel like maybe I was worth someone's time. She was my first everything, first real date, first relationship, first person I ever opened up to like this. I trusted her completely. Then, the other night, she was in the shower while I was at her place, and her phone buzzed on the couch beside me. It was a message from her group chat, one of her friends saying, "Oh my goodness, he's clueless." Laughy faces. I know I shouldn't have, but I had a bad feeling, so I opened the text. What I saw while scrolling through the chat was shattering. For months, she had been sharing everything with her friends. She had taken screenshots of her texts, photos that I sent, even told them some of my most vulnerable things that I'd confided in her. She wasn't just sharing these things, she was mocking me. She'd written in the chat about how painfully inexperienced I was, saying things like, "He's such a virgin," almost cute, like I'm babysitting. One of her friends replied, "Aw, did you teach him how to hold hands? Haha." She responded, "I swear, I'm his first everything. He's like an overgrown teenager." But it got worse. She knew that I was bullied in high school and that I'd still carried a lot of insecurity about it. I'd opened up to her one night, telling her how hard those years were and how they had made me feel small and insecure about myself for years. In her chat, though, she had written, "He got all teary-eyed about being bullied. Like, yeah, you were a nerd, dude. Get over it." Her friends jumped in, laughing about how guys are so soft these days, and one even wrote, "He sounds like he's still a bullied kid. Aw, poor thing, did you hug him afterwards?" I then found their messages making fun of my height. I'm self-conscious about being short, and she always told me that it didn't matter to her. But in the chat, she wrote, "He's so short I could probably carry him myself, lol. He tries so hard to stand taller around guys." One of the friends replied, "You must feel like his mom sometimes. Short kings are something else." Another added, "At least you'll never have to wear heels, lol." I was already feeling sick, but I kept going. She'd shared a photo that I had sent of myself shirtless, something that took a lot for me to do because I've always been insecure about my body. She posted it in the chat saying, "He sent this trying to be sexy, bless his heart." One of her friends replied, "Does he even lift?" Another wrote, "At least he's easy to pick up." I felt humiliated reading all this. She also sent them one of my inappropriate pictures and said how there's not much to work with, unfortunately. The worst part was when I saw her mocking my attempts at intimate texting. I'm not exactly experienced in that area, but I try to be romantic with her. She'd screenshotted some of my text and captioned it, "Look at this. He's like a nervous teenager trying to flirt." I can't. Her friends were dying, laughing. One of them saying, "Aw, that's so sweet. Needs some training though." Then wrote, "Yeah, he's literally like a lost puppy, but whatever, it's a project." When she got out of the shower, I confronted her. I asked her how she could do this, how she could take the most private parts of me and turn them into a joke. She looked shocked at first, but then her face fell and she started crying, saying it was just girl talk. And I was taking it way too seriously. She kept saying, "Everyone does this. I didn't mean to hurt you." She was crying hard, grabbed my hands, and begging me not to leave. She kept saying, "I'm sorry, please, it's just how I talk with my friends. I love you, please don't go." I told her that I couldn't stay with someone who saw me as a joke. She was crying, begging me to stay, telling me that she would stop and that she didn't mean any harm, but I couldn't look at her the same way. I packed my things and I left, ignoring her texts and calls ever since. Now she and her friends are texting me saying that I'm overreacting and that I'm too sensitive and weak if I can't even handle a joke. They're calling me immature and saying that if I can't laugh at myself, then I'm not mature enough to be in a relationship. I don't know if I did the right thing. All right, folks, what do you think?
You absolutely did the right thing, OP. Someone who mocks you behind your back about your deepest insecurities is not a good person to be with. She clearly does not care for you as much as she's pretended. It sounds like this whole relationship was just like a giant exercise with her friends to mock you.
Yeah, well, I think sometimes people get into these like group conversations and they'll say things that they don't necessarily mean. And I'm hoping that's the case because when he was breaking up with her, she seemed sincerely distressed, right? But then that immediately turned back into, "You can't laugh at yourself. I'm really the victim here. You're sensitive and weak," right?
Right. Well, that's it exactly. And the way she talked, like it wasn't just like a one-off comment or something. Like she sent intimate photos he had shared with her and intimate text exchange and told them about, some of his most vulnerable moments, and so it's a repeated pattern of behavior. This wasn't a one-time friend saying something awkward and her laughing it off, which, isn't great, but people will do those kind of things and it can be forgivable as long as they genuinely don't mean it. It's very clear that she at least saw absolutely no problem with repeatedly bringing stuff to the chat to mock.
Yeah. What do you feel about him going through their chat history?
I mean, I feel the same way I feel about anyone who suspects they're being cheated or something bad is happening. Like, it's not the greatest way, but, I also don't have a problem if someone's like, "Gee, I think my partner might be cheating on me. I checked their phone." Like, sometimes once the trust is kind of broken, though, you're already not in a great spot.
Yeah, I think that if you see stuff like this, then it's not worth continuing on and reading any of that criticism. All it's going to do is cause more damage, right? So I think for Opie's own sake, he probably should have left it at a couple of messages. Maybe they needed more to confirm why they would break up with this individual. But I mean, at a certain point, like, why do the psychological damage to yourself?
Well, because, like, you just need to know more. It's like people who read the entire cheating history. It's just that you need to know what this person who you trusted actually thinks of you and actually is willing to do to you.
Yeah. I hope OP can go into therapy and talk to a therapist because I don't think that they're going to be in a good place for a long time here.
Yeah.
And I hope that they can find a partner who loves and appreciates them for who they are, right?
Yeah, and I also want to challenge her idea that everyone does this.
Yeah.
No, not everyone does this. Like, I don't think I've ever said something behind Brian's back that I wouldn't say to his face. Like, sometimes I'll teasingly, like, joke him about things, but I'm never, like, intentionally mean or cruel.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, I have, like, a thick skin, so it wouldn't matter if she did.
Well, but I genuinely don't see the point in, like, belittling people.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's it, too. It's like, why would you say things mean about somebody who you supposedly love, right?
Like if I genuinely disliked Brian, I would not be married to him. The
Yeah.
only reason I'm married to him is because he's a great person.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
How can you tell when a car is thinking?
Well, a car is thinking when it's idling.
You can see its wheels spinning.
Or that too. Or that too. And I have Mega Mint. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy, terrific Thursday, Friday Junior.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Thanks so much for watching. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please have it on Deep Cut Betrayal.
Don't, like, if you're not happy with someone, just break up with them.
Yeah, exactly. No need to impress your friends by punching down at your loved ones, right? Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.